that that's done because I forget. I forget. I get talking or something and I forget. But I am Thomas Dubois, and I get the pleasure of hosting this morning. We do have another training again tomorrow, and so we are excited about that. I hope that you're as excited about the information that we've been putting out as I am. Please remember on WhatsApp that we do have some written material that Natalie has been working real hard at. And so be sure and get that checked out and make sure that you see that. And that would be great. Let me make a couple people co-hosts real quick just to get a little help here. A couple things I wanted to say on that is that we got some new information last night on uh, on what's necessary to become a Texas Ranger and some different things like that. So please get with your direct upline or your direct ranger and make sure that they give you the right information to put in the right information for that. Another thing is that we want to talk quickly, just a little housekeeping. I was blessed with an assistant for the team, which is really awesome. Um, but we are finding that many people are not having enough patience for her or I or your upline to handle those things and are putting in multiple support tickets. So we're going to ask that not happen. If you put one support ticket in, they know they have it. It goes into a check. They will not miss it. If you want to put in a second one, check with me first. Maybe I have the answer, or maybe I can check with Natalie personally and whatnot. And so we want to make sure that we are keeping a clean line of support there that's fair to the entire organization. And so want to make sure of that. They're getting paid well to help us, and we want to make sure and not do our best not to misuse that situation just for the purpose of one person trying to help and then all of a sudden she's not sure if that's a new ticket, an old ticket, or the same ticket. And so very, very important. Just a little housekeeping on that. Here is the line of defense or the line of service. Always you should be going to your direct sponsor first. Always. Okay, always. And if they're not active at all, understand, go to the next person. But then to your direct Texit Ranger. If you're on this call and you don't know who your direct Texit Ranger is, it's probably pretty easy for us to figure out and let you know. So you can text me or call me or whatever the case may be. Sarah, Bill, myself, Carl, Greg Knox, whoever that might be, go there. And then all the Texas Rangers, we're all here to help you all at all times. But it should always be them first before the support ticket. Okay? Because one of the reasons we're doing this call is because they want us to get our teams to where for crypto questions, they do not have to go to support for it. For your coin questions, that you don't have to go to support for it, that you go to support for your problem solving of things in the back office, like a wrong email or different things like that. Now, does that say that for changing a wallet address or troubleshooting something that you can't go to support? No, that's not what I'm saying. Let's not draw a line in the sand on anything that I'm saying. Let's open that up to say, okay, I went to my first lines of defense first. So Bill would come. Bill's not probably a good example. Let's see. I'll just use. Well, that's not a good example either. But so you would go to your sponsor. You would then go to your Texas Ranger, and if you're not getting the help that you need from us, then and it doesn't mean always text. A lot of times people want us to solve problems on text messages, and then they'll text me, and I'll call them because that's a little bit harder to solve on a text than a call, and I'll call them and they won't answer. Like, okay. Okay, doing my best here, folks. So anyways, let's just be conscientious of some order so that we don't get out of control. You guys do know that this team's like 4,000 people, right? And so, or more, and we want to make sure and keep in proper semblance. Bill, can you let me, or Andrea, can you tell me what you heard about? Oh, oops, I just messed up on that. On this next subject, um, uh, we are not supposed to be trying to get meetings at the office at this time. Is that what you guys are understanding?
Yes.
At all, right?
Right.
Correct.
Okay. And everybody has a special somebody or somebody special. But from what I understand is they said until they get that new line of defense up, that they're not doing any tours. They don't want anybody directly visiting corporate office, and that all it is distraction to keep ourselves ahead of time as they are getting new people hired and doing all of those new things. So just wanted to throw that out there. But Bill, is that what you heard too?
That's correct.
Okay, and Sarah, I'll make you co-host when I. There you go. But I think Sarah could say the same thing. So just touching on a few things that have come up. I know that we all want our people to be able to visit and everybody to meet Bobby. Bobby wants things to go through the Texas Rangers. Bobby wants things to go through the assistants. We need him freed up to run this business, right? So be conscientious of that as well. And guys, it is Thursday. You're going to probably get this kind of update from me every Thursday. Why? Because we do the Ranger call on Wednesdays. Okay, so just flowing down to you a little bit of what we heard so that you guys can get help by it on this day. So this is an everything crypto call. So let's get into everything crypto. And nobody better than I know to lead us off on that. And he had spoken to you guys about a lot of things yesterday. And the information was so valuable that I listened to it a second time when I got out of my eye appointment. And so very, very excited about it. And very excited to hear from him. And we thank you, Herchel Crowe, for giving us of your time, and for a second day in a row giving us of your time. And if I unmuted you and your leader and gave you permission to, you all have permission to unmute. But if I gave you a co-host position, please feel free to help if whenever Herchel wants to do Q&A or whatnot. That's why we might have some answers that can help there. But mostly we're excited to hear from Mr. Herchel. Take it away, sir.
Good morning, Thomas. I hope everything's going well for you this morning. I was going to say evening. It feels like evening already for me. But no, glad to be back. I see a lot of people up early this morning, so that's always a good thing. One of the things that I thought about last night that I didn't touch on as in-depthly as I should have for the level of importance that it actually has in the crypto space, and that's safety and security and understanding what really happens when people we always hear about people saying, oh, my wallet got hacked, or whatever the case is. First and foremost, when I get started with anybody, I typically, and this is one of those things that I will, first thing out of my mouth is, I'll wait. Do you have a pen and a piece of paper? Pen and piece of paper. Now, I know the majority of the people that's on the call right now are already in TEXIT, and they've already done this part of the process. But the question is, when you wrote down your 12-word seed phrase, and if you haven't written down your 12-word seed phrase, that means you have not yet downloaded the TEXIT app and created a wallet. If you haven't done that yet, that is something that you want to put on your to-do list so that you can start getting used to seeing the app and even using the app now while we're waiting for value to increase with the token, the coin, while we're waiting for the community to grow and all those things. Now is the time to actually take 4 or 5 coins and move them from one wallet to another, send them over to the exchange and come back. Just figure out, learn how to navigate that part of the process. Corey did an example of it the other day, and I know Thomas did an example of it the other day. So if anybody has any questions about how to do that, that's why we're opening this up for Q&A as we move forward with today's call. But I start everybody out saying, hey, I need you to get a pen and piece of paper, preferably an actual, it doesn't have to be a notebook, but for those individuals that do have a safe at home, I recommend an actual notebook, because you're going to, as time progresses, you're for those that are new to crypto, this is your first project. These are your first wallets and exchanges that you're engaging with. But as time progresses, you're going to start learning about the importance of actually getting other wallets, multiple wallets that you will be using over time. And you need a centralized place to house all of that information so that you can access it without scratching your head about where did I put that? Not on a little sticky note in the top right-hand corner of your desk that's now covered with a whole bunch of, collection notices, no, I'm just playing, mail that has come in that has come on your desk or whatever the case is, and you can't find it. If something happens, at home, God forbid, a fire or a flood or anything like grandkids, believe me, I've literally seen a piece of paper where the dog actually ate it, right? And they had the 12-word seed phrase, and only 9 of them were accessible anymore. And anything that's in a wallet, anything that is in a wallet, if something happens to your device, your phone, or your computer where you have that wallet set up, the only way to get back into that wallet is with the 12-word seed phrase. And I want you to think about it. People say their wallets get hacked. Your wallet doesn't get hacked. In the amount of time that I've been in the crypto space, I have never, ever, and I'll say, I'm going to say 99.99, because you don't know what you don't know until you figure out you didn't know it. But I have never heard or seen of someone whose wallet was actually hacked. Wallets get compromised, but they don't get hacked. How do they get compromised? The owner of that wallet, the person that set it up and has the 12-word seed phrase, knowingly or unknowingly allowed someone else to access that wallet, gave them a pathway to get into the wallet. So the wallet didn't get hacked. Information or access was given to get access. What do I mean by that? One, you leave your 12 words. You go, you got your phone. Something's wrong with it. You got your wallet downloaded on it, but you screenshot it, your 12-word seed phrase, and it's stored in the cloud on your iPhone. But you're having problems, and you take it into AT&T, Verizon, or the phone store. These youngsters that actually work on these phones, that go in real quick and click a few buttons and get you back up and running, trust and believe, they know what 12-word seed phrases look like. And there's nothing you can do once that 12-word seed phrase has been obtained by someone else. They own that wallet just like you now. They have as much access as you have access to that wallet because the keys to the safe are those 12 words. So you always want to make sure that you never screenshot and you never take a picture of your 12-word seed phrase. Same thing with your path, and I know this is going to touch on a lot of people. I'm an Android user. I know the majority of the people on the phone are probably iPhone users. And I know a lot of people that use I don't know what they call it, is it sticky notes or notebook or something on the phone, where they go and they put all their passwords, all their usernames. People will type in or copy their 12-word seed phrases, and they keep them all in one convenient location so that when they forget, they can quickly and easily go get access. That is a I see you, Miss Betty. That is a recipe for disaster in time by doing that, because now no one has to hack your wallet. It's a lot easier to access your phone. That's how wallets get compromised. So what do? When we get a 12-word seed phrase, we never screenshot. We always write it down and we put it in a safe, fireproof, waterproof location that we can always access. Me, myself, I have written down for my main wallets, I have little ones too, but for my main accounts, I actually have written down my 12-word seed phrases, have them in a safe. I've even torn them in half, and they don't even know it, but I have half of my words at one of my sister's house, the other half at another sister's house, or what have you. So I know I can always go get it if I need it, but it's going to take me a little work, but I can get it if I need it. So I don't have to worry about losing it or something happening to it. But more importantly, no one else can get access to it. Now, I actually shared this yesterday on a call that Corey had briefly, where I'm going to try. I don't know why I can't see myself, but hopefully, nope, that's not the one. I'll go back. Maybe that. Oh well, I'll wing it. Hopefully, you guys can see this, but some people that may not have a safe, that whether you can't afford a safe, whether you don't need a safe, whether you don't have space for a safe, doesn't matter. This is a hack that I started using early on, and I've shared with a number of people to make sure that they have a safe place to put their 12-word seed phrase. And that is, I went to Home Depot and got a 1.5 inch, it can be 2 inch, doesn't matter, piece of steel pipe with the caps that you can screw onto the end. And when you write those 12 words down, you can put a piece of parchment paper on the inside, and you can screw it and lock it down. Fireproof now, and it's waterproof. You can throw it in the back of a closet. You can put it in a shoebox in the closet. You can put it under the bed. You can put it in the cookie jar, wherever you want to put it. Someone breaks in your house, they're not looking to steal a piece of pipe. But you know where this is at all time, and your 12 words are protected at all times. I know that's missing, what have you. So that's just a cheap, inexpensive 10, 12 bucks that lets you know that your stuff is safe. And mentally, you'll remember where you put this. It's steel, so it's actually magnetic. You can put it on the rails under the bed, glue a magnet under there, or whatever. So you can get creative with that. But this is one cheap way that you can actually save and protect your assets. But your wallets don't get hacked. We give access, and that's how our wallets become compromised. And we want to avoid that at all costs. The beautiful thing about it, and one of the reasons why I'm so jealous, again, I'm talking about the people that's new to the crypto space. TEXIT is actually bringing a project to the table that, because it is a blockchain and they have their own wallet, and that wallet is not accessible or available or in other wallets or exchanges, wallets, I should say, to date. In the future, I'm sure that'll change, but to date, they're not there. You're coming into an environment where there's less negative activity towards trying to gain access to your coins or what have you. And a lot of people do not, believe me, a lot of people do not have that type of innate or inherent security built in by default. So TEXIT is really, really a great place, starting ground for people that are coming into crypto. So when you have individuals that you're talking to, friends and family members, coworkers, whatever the case may be, that, you know, are interested in crypto, but, you know, are afraid or scared, don't understand, you can rest assured that when it comes to safety and security, there's not many other, if there are other projects that they can get involved in, that's going to be as safe at this stage of the game as TEXIT. Go ahead, Sarah.
I just want to throw something else in there because there's several of us on here that are grandparents or parents that have our children and grandchildren involved in TEXIT or other investments. And what I have also done, in addition to the fireproofing situation, is to create an envelope for two people that I know very well that know crypto. And I have made an envelope, put all that information with their name on it because my kids and my grandchildren have no clue on how to work crypto. So I have added all of my seed words and my passwords. So in case something was to happen to me, then they would have access to calling that person saying, "Hey, will you please help me with this?" So I have like double, triple protected myself, and I've also made like 4 copies of everything, not just one. And so I have it in several different places. But that's just a side note to support people on here that have kids or grandchildren that can absolutely pass on the information to someone that could help them.
That's wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. And I know I don't have a screenshot. Yeah, you guys won't be able to see it, but verbally I can articulate it. What you just mentioned, Miss Sarah, I've had to, I've been that person that an individual shared, or at least told me that, hey, if anything ever happens to me, I have, you know, provided information to, it was his aunt. If anything were to ever happen to me, he was terminally ill. I've given my stuff to my aunt. She knows nothing about crypto. If something ever happens to me, will you help them get access to my assets? Absolutely, sir. Never met this person outside of virtually for about 2 years, but he reached out to me and asked if I would help. And once he passed, a few months later, I received a call from the aunt. He had been in crypto a lot longer than myself. He had notes in 20 million different places, words written sideways, illegible, and and all these type of things, to where I was able to gain access to some of it, but we just couldn't read the information and decipher the information. So when you're writing down, make sure you take your time. And sometimes you may do it real fast in the beginning, but think long term and go back and rewrite, print legibly where if someone else had to gain access, that they can actually understand and read what you're saying at the same time. That is extremely important to make sure that you have in place because that's the whole point of all of this in the beginning, right? We're looking to build legacies and wealth for our children, our grandchildren, and so forth. And to go through the process, actually make it, and no one be able to access it, painful, painful. So definitely want to keep those things in mind, and safety and security is paramount. It's one thing to make it. It's another thing to keep it. It's another thing to keep it. So if anybody has any questions, and this is one of the things that I've learned also in this space, there's people listening right now that have questions about something. It doesn't have to be about safety and security. It can be about anything, TEXIT or non-TEXIT related, as long as it's in a crypto matter. Let's raise our hand, ask those questions. If I don't know the answer, I'm gonna tell you I don't know the answer, but I have the answer before the day's over. Go right ahead, Brian. Let me see. Go right ahead, Brian. Mr. Frazier.
Yeah, can you hear me okay?
Yeah. Yes, sir. Loud and clear.
Fantastic. Yeah, I just want to say thank you, Herchel, for this training that you're doing, because to me, this is the most important part of cryptocurrency. Of besides the wealth that it can bring, this is the most thing that most people need to spend the most time on, is learning how to be safe. I've often said that the good thing about cryptocurrency is that you're in 100% control of your finances. But the bad thing about cryptocurrency is that you're 100% control of your finances. And so, and I am the quintessential poster child of keeping your 12 key phrases. All right. And this is my story. Some of you know my story. I've been involved with crypto for a little while, since actively since 2018. But my first experience with crypto, Bitcoin to be specific, was in 2008, December of 2008. And see, whenever you have something dramatic that happens to you, you remember exactly what happened. And in December of 2008, me and a friend of mine got introduced to Bitcoin. Didn't have a clue what it was. The rest of the world didn't know what it was. It was not even on anybody's radar at all. And we just so happened to be at the right place at the right time to have access to get a wallet. Somebody walked us through how to set up a wallet. And it was a little different back then than it is now. And we set up a wallet. And even then, those 12 words were there. Actually, I believe it was 24. All right. And we did all of the things that we were supposed to do to set it up. And we bought $5 worth of Bitcoin. Now, I to my recollection, Bitcoin was even less than a penny. But let's just say that it was a penny. All right, $5 worth of Bitcoin. Who knew where it was going to go? Didn't have a clue what it was. All right, and we played it off. We didn't think nothing. What was a Bitcoin? Had no clue. 2 years later, Bitcoin gets to almost $100. Still didn't register in my head because I'm not familiar with crypto. Didn't understand it. Didn't make any sense to me. A couple of years later, Bitcoin gets to $500. 2 or 3 years later, got to $500. Now I'm trying to, okay, wait a minute. I got some of this. Went to go get my wallet, didn't have a clue where I put it. And to this day, I'm still looking for that wallet. So I am literally sitting here on this call, a crypto millionaire, and can't touch it. Okay.
Both
So just to let you know, this is real. Security is real, and that's why I say Bitcoin will never go to zero. Ever. You know why? Because there's plenty more people on the planet just like me. And that is crypto, that is Bitcoin that will never be touched ever again. And so it will never go past whatever people have lost. And there's millions of dollars that people have lost. Millions. Okay, so understand, this is very, very important. Take this seriously because your financial life depends on you being in control of your security. Thanks, Herchel, for what you're doing, man. Appreciate it.
Absolutely. Thank you for sharing that. Thank you for sharing that. And as Mr. Frazier stated, there are so many other people out there that have gone through similar, maybe not the same, but similar situations with their Bitcoin early on. But here's the key thing. You heard him say how long ago that was. But you also heard him say the progression of the value of that Bitcoin over time, what that looked like. His Bitcoin experience is now, TEXIT is now your experience that fits into that same mold. You hear Bobby Gray say it all the time. It's the Bitcoin do-over. It's the very thing that he just stated. He has now the chance to do it all over again. We don't want you to have to redo it. So we're going to secure our stuff on the front end right now. But understand, it takes time. It takes time. We all get excited when we see the value of the coin going up, week to week, month to month, or whatever now. But I want you to really think about what that looks like if we let them roots set in and carry out the mission over the next 2, 3, 4, 5 years, what that actually has the ability to look like. And those that got started early, like everyone on this call, are the ones that really, really, really get to see, leverage, and maximize the benefits of all of that, or what have you. Anybody else? And what I was saying earlier was a lot of times. Oh, okay. Go ahead, Miss Betty. Unmute. There you go. There you go. Can't hear you. Can anybody else? Thomas, can you hear? Let's see. She's unmuted, but we can't hear her mic.
Let me do this for that. Let me try to do this.
Now, can you hear me?
Yes.
There you go.
There you go.
Okay. So you've got 10 years experience. I've got 2 hours.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, so very new. So I just want a clarification
Sure.
on the difference between coins and tokens. So I understand that tokens ride on other blockchains. So
Right.
are coins the one that are belong to that blockchain?
Yes. A coin, every actual blockchain has its own coin.
Okay.
Other crypto projects that don't create their own chain have to ride on someone else's blockchain.
Okay.
So the chain has a coin, projects have tokens, and those tokens, when you use, anytime you use the chain charges a toll fee.
Right.
We call it gas, right? But you have to pay the toll or the gas in the native coin of the chain.
Right.
So if you ship a package on FedEx, you got to pay FedEx. UPS, you got to pay UPS. Same thing here. If you're on the, you don't hear about coins or tokens riding on the Bitcoin blockchain. The reason why is because, and yes, for any gurus that are on here, there's some things being developed, but by and large, Bitcoin is dumb in the sense that it was not created to do anything other than be able to, as a medium of exchange. Ethereum saw a flaw in Bitcoin, and it developed a blockchain designed to allow people to write smart contracts so that people could program if this, then that, and make it do something. So that's why Ethereum is number 2 in the book, on the crypto chart, right? Because people needed to be able to do something with crypto. But that's the reason why you don't see tokens riding on Bitcoin, because it doesn't have native smart contract writing capability. But Ethereum does, right? So now, Corey talked about MetaMask. MetaMask is what's called an EVM wallet, Ethereum Virtual Machine Wallet. What does that mean, Herchel? In MetaMask, it was designed to hold and transact with Ethereum. Over time, other blockchains came out that had slight variations, but used in essence, and for all my techies on here, I'm gonna try to use layman terms, so it may not be technical, but conceptually, I want people to grasp it. So imagine other people coming on board and just pulling Ethereum's code off the shelf, but making a few tweaks here and there to make it faster or less expensive. But they're using Ethereum's coding, right? So when you look in your MetaMask wallet to date, for those that have a MetaMask, everything in that wallet is an EVM coin or token, meaning that it's using Ethereum. So Ethereum's not going anywhere because everybody's leveraging the Ethereum blockchain. But in MetaMask, you will notice that you do not have Bitcoin. You do not have Litecoin. We cannot put TEXIT in a MetaMask wallet. Why? Because Bitcoin is what's called a UTX, built on a UTXO platform. Litecoin, TEXIT are all UTXO. What does that mean? Let's go back to phone companies. Everybody knows AT&T, right? Everybody remembers Verizon and Sprint. Well, AT&T network and T-Mobile network operates on a GSM platform. Verizon and the old Sprint, before they got bought out by T-Mobile, operated on a CDMA network. You can make calls, you can go on the internet, you can send text messages on any of them. But they had a different protocol, a different means by which they performed that activity. Same thing here. You have your Ethereum virtual machine, coins and tokens, and then you have your UTXO, which is unspent transaction output protocol, if you will, which is what Bitcoin is on, which is what TEXIT is on, which is what Litecoin and a few others or what have you. So, and I forget what, I think I answered your question early on about the coins and tokens or what have you, but accessibility is where the difference comes with the programming of how they actually operate. And the reason why I said Bitcoin was dumb, and to date, there are a few technologies out there that are rapidly coming to mainstream that are allowing for smart contracts to be written on the Bitcoin blockchain. So I'm glad you asked that question because you're taking me somewhere here. This is very important for TEXIT. If Bitcoin is a UTXO and you can't write smart contracts on it, Litecoin is built just like Bitcoin historically. TEXIT is a clone of the Litecoin network. Well, Herchel, that means without smart contracts, there can't be tokens riding on the TEXIT blockchain. Aha. It is happening. Over the last 2 to 3 years, it has started to happen. It hasn't gone mainstream yet on the Bitcoin blockchain, but there are a lot of projects that have been building where you can write smart contracts as a layer 2 solution on top of it. So when you hear Bobby talking about the downtown digital dollars, what's happening is we have the TEXIT blockchain, and you will have a layer 2 sitting on top of it that will allow for each one of those cities or municipalities to create their own stable token that rides on the TEXIT blockchain. Now, I don't know how he's going to intertwine and make it work from city to city or whatever the case is, but the same way I envision it, again, conceptually, not technically, but conceptually, you have the TEXIT blockchain. You may have, let's say, the Houston, Texas token, the Dallas, Texas token, the McKinney, Texas token. And I will be able to go into my wallet and take my Houston token and swap it to the to the Dallas token if I'm in Dallas, and spend it at the places that's available. And when I go to McKinney or Austin to a festival or whatever the case is, whatever coin or token that they're using for that event, I can swap and use that. But all of this stuff is riding on the platform itself, which is the TEXIT blockchain. And we as miners are the ones, when we obtain the miners and we start mining, we get our hash, what we're doing is we're helping support, validate, and protect the network that all of that activity will be crossing over. And the bigger that network is, that network infrastructure is, the more safe and secure it actually is, so that large cities, corporations, or whomever, large numbers of people with multiple transactions, there's enough bandwidth or enough infrastructure to support it without it getting bogged down. And that's what we are bringing to the table. And the more of us, those million seats that he's talking about, that is why we want to have as many people or as many miners as we can, or what have you, to get to that capability. So I hope I answered your question somewhere in there.
You did.
Good stuff. Who's next? Any other questions? Any other questions? We're going to do Q&As often, but don't be afraid to ask, because like he said, you know, Sarah and Herchel, I guess, are duplicating each other, because they both said the same thing that Sarah always says, that if she has a question, she's always asking it because it will probably help a whole bunch of other people. So Herschel kind of said the same thing at the beginning of this. I do want to mention also, and we do have Miss Donna. We'll get over there right now. You should be able to unmute Miss Donna, and then I'll close out with some questions later. I mean, with some thoughts.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am.
Hi, it's very nice meeting all you guys. This is my first time on this call. And so far, I looked at a video with that other gentleman that was just on, and I'm very, very impressed. The fact that you guys have the knowledge you have in this space. And it actually helps me learn a lot more than what I know. I'm not you guys know a lot more than me, but I know how to get around crypto, like, you know, move the wallet, you know, like move it from one place to another and use it. And now I'm able to actually learn more, uh, you know, by meeting all you guys, and I really appreciate it. And I'll see if I could bring more people on. I want to help bring people in too.
Absolutely.
So I'm happy.
Absolutely.
I'm happy and impressed.
Very nice.
Thank you. And you know, that's for any project, and it's funny how this works. For any project to work, it has to have a community. Period. It has to have a community. And we asked ourselves, okay, you know, most people will get in, just put some money into something or make an investment into something, and then they go and they sit back and they just wait and wonder, you know, why is this not, you know, going up in value? Why is this not happening? Why is that not happening? The more we actually share and educate the people within the community, it becomes natural and it starts to attract others. And the more educated we all become, there's a direct reflection on the value of the asset within the community. Because if we all say it's valuable by our action, not our words, but by our actions, it actually becomes valuable. And that's the beauty of when they say the people's money. The people actually have the say. If we don't say it, we don't engage it, it doesn't have it. But if we do, it does. So no, that's wonderful, Ms. Dunn. I'm glad to hear that there's some value, you know, being shared, and we definitely want you to, you know, put it in front of whomever you think it may be of value to. Absolutely.
Who's next? Let's get a couple more questions in. We got, I'd say maybe we'll try to cut it at the hour here today. And we always are trying to do that to the best of our ability, unless things are flowing in the right direction. You know, we'll just keep going. We also know that people have to work and all of that stuff, and you guys have to jump off and jump on, and never have a conscience about that. You know, we're not taking roll call. You know, we're not doing any of that. Any more questions? I did open up a chat as well, if that helped anybody. I want to reiterate that sometimes you won't see chat with me. I don't open it up until maybe a time like this for Q&A. It's just, to me, it's distracting. But you all can probably multitask a whole lot better than I can. So, Herchel, this has been amazing. I don't see any more hands up. I do want to say this to all of the leaders that are on here. if you have a way that you're buying crypto, or you have a way that you're producing cash flow in Texit coin in our community, we want you to share that. Even if it's a duplicate teaching, like let's say that you're buying off of Exodus. Well, you might know a trick on Exodus that I don't know, even though I use it all the time, right? Or you might know a way to circumvent it costing so much. I don't know. But any of those separate things, we want to hear from you. Just please get with me and tell me a morning that works for you. We want you. Like for instance, the gentleman that chimed in, I know how much knowledge Mr. Frazier has. So, Mr. Frazier, I expect to hear from you soon. He's a good enough friend that I can say that. And then, and that goes for all of you guys. So everybody has means to buy. I know we'll be hearing all of the people that have taught so far. I know that we'll hear from them again. So here's what I can say to you guys that you can spread the word on, is that at least until the end of the month, we're going to do these 4 days a week. Okay, Tuesday through Friday. After that, we'll evaluate together on here on what we feel we need. If we need to keep it that many days rolling in, if we need to have 2 days, maybe cut it down to 3. We want to repeat and rinse and repeat and rinse and repeat and rinse as many times as it takes to get you self-sufficient. Okay, we want you guys. When we're a community that it's all self-sufficient, oh my goodness, we are just flowing through this thing with some ease, and being able to help the whole of the community in a way that nobody's ever seen before. So that's at least the goal here. There is goals that I have here of self-sufficiency. Why I decided to do this, because I am the one guilty of giving you guys 900 ways to pay. Okay, I gave you guys so many ways to pay that nobody learned crypto with me, and I needed to learn more about crypto, and I might have done that for some selfish reasons, but I do know how to grow a fast community, and I try to take any shortcuts that I can to do that. So that blessing is still there, but now we have the community, and we have great people like Herchel, great people like Corey, like Sarah, like everybody on it. Shouldn't have started names, we know that one, but great people. But please volunteer on these, and let's enjoy as much as we can. Some days you might go, I knew all that. Some days, we might watch a video or something. I don't know. But we're going to do this till the end of the month, at least these 4 days, and then we'll reevaluate from there. I'm going to, if I don't see any hands come up. Oh, Casper, by the way, I know that you have some good stuff too. So anybody that has good stuff that wants to teach your community to teach the bigger community, we're trying to touch the bigger community. Gage asked for this call yesterday, and I gave him all the information for it for the larger community. But we do want to keep this in the community as far as I'm concerned. This is not a guest call. This is not for guests. This is for people that are minors with us in this community, if that makes sense. And there's a lot of reasons for that. I'm not going to get into that. I'm going to now, Mr. Herchel, if you would take the next few minutes and close us out any way that you wish. We cannot thank you enough for these last 2 days. They have been invaluable. They've been awesome and wonderful. And so I'll say that for everybody, but everybody will be able to say that at the end as well. But Herchel, let me let you take us out of here today.
Okay. Well, once again, Thomas, thank you for allowing me the opportunity to share my thoughts and experiences with the team here. And team, thank you for taking time out of your busy schedules to actually be here. That is extremely important. Towards, especially again, you hear me say this often. For those of you that are new, I'm subliminally talking to those people that's been in the crypto space for a while too, but know that they haven't actually taking the time to go and dig in. So I'm still calling you new as well. But I know there's some strong people listening in that have a wealth of knowledge and experience in the crypto space also, that's taking their time to be here as well. So I definitely appreciate that time and attention that you have given. All I can say is I like this project. I believe we have, you know, a bright future in front of us. And the more we can do to help grow the community, the better. And the more knowledgeable we are, the better. So happy to help, share, problem solve, troubleshoot, anything with anyone, anytime. So thank you, Thomas.
We appreciate that very, very much. Please let me know whenever you want to come back, because we'll just keep that an open ticket. So God bless everybody. Have a prosperous and wonderful day. May everything that you want out of TEXITcoin come true. And we are going to be signing off, and this recording will get posted in a few hours. God bless everybody.